Hi everybody. Well, today is going to be a first. I'm going to give you a homily that I gave in church a couple weeks ago. Most of you do know that I'm a minister. I'm not a mail order minister. I actually did go to school for it. Served more than one church. Started my own church at one point that has since closed, and I'm now a guest minister, a guest speaker at the Lancaster Metaphysical Chapel in Lancaster, PA. Great place. Recommend it. So I was there a couple weeks ago, and I thought, this is really about your spirituality. It's not about religion. So I don't want you to, don't click that button quite yet. It's not very long. A homily is a sermon, a short sermon. And I think that you'll like it. This one is about life challenges. And what I like about it is that, you think about the things that you want to make changes in your life about, and it also pumps up your intuition and your connection with the other side, and your relationship with God, which is, really everything. So I'm going to do this, and I don't usually go this casual in church. I'm going to be the hipster minister today. So without further ado, I'm going to deliver this just like I would in church, all right? So, life's challenges. Good morning. Sometimes we start with a scripture or quotes. Today I want to start with a story about my Aunt Doris. What would a homily be without that woman? She's 97 now, and she's 97. Soon after my immediate family had time to absorb the news of my cancer diagnosis, I put up a Facebook video to announce the news to the rest of the world. And my cousin Donald, Doris's son, told her I was sick. And let's just say she ran away with the ball. She got a little confused, and at first she thought I was in a hospital. I wasn't. Then she got a little more confused and thought I had passed on. I didn't. And at this point in the story, she's alone in the house with no one to correct her and tell her otherwise. So she's understandably very upset. Then she decided to call the rest of my family and let them know that I had died. Yes, she did. And I'm in the shower and getting ready for the day with my phone blowing up. And I only learned of the news when my brother called and I answered. He said, "Oh, good, so you're not dead." Well, let me tell you what Aunt Doris has been up to. Sadly, it was devastating for her, but she was fine by the end of the day. It would be nice if all of our challenges turned out to be, just entertaining little stories to tell our grandchildren one day, or just simply chemo brain. I lose my glasses at least once a day. And that's entertaining, but that's not always the case. Challenges are a lot harder than that. Life can be hard. Today, I want to give you some tips on handling your challenges and life choices that have to be made along the way. Your life is a story. And you add to that story every morning that you're blessed to put your feet on the floor. Okay, I'm cold. Hold on. And in that story are many chapters. And each chapter represents a new journey, a new experience. Sometimes we can't wait to turn the page. Sometimes we dread turning the page. But your soul came here to learn and grow. And we can only do that through experience. This earth life is our experiential reality. Once you learn something, your master teacher will guide you and let you know when it's time to move on to the next adventure. Sometimes with a clapping thunder. Life can and does change often without warning. In an instant, we can be turned around. There's no sitting still on earth, is there? Even when you find that a comfy spot and hold your position, You know that feeling you get when you climb into bed, and sometimes you can find that perfect comfy spot. Then your foot itches, or the phone rings, and you can never find that spot again, like ever. Now that's how life can be. What separates each journey of your story is a segue called change. Sometimes change is planned, welcomed, and even celebrated. Other times it really does feel like it should be a four-letter word. Journeys are so much longer than the change in between them. Change can be sharp, it can be painful, it creates loss, hurt feelings, and anxieties. But those are the moments we tend to hold on to, rather than focusing on the new path that change put us on. Letting go of that pain is so hard, yet it's so important to your growth. Healing takes as long as it takes. But we have to move forward at some point to allow room for the next adventure, the next journey. Even if we have to drag that sorrow with us, because time stands still for no one. Everything here is transient. It's always in motion. So how could we possibly expect things to stay the same? Everything is a temporary condition, leading you to change and new experiences. You cannot achieve goals. You cannot become who you want to be. None of that by staying right where you are. That makes sense, right? Nature just doesn't work that way. Look at the different seasons Mother Nature provides. Look at the weather today compared to last week. Look at history and progress and the aging process on the linear timeline. Everything is in motion. We all have challenges in life to face. Some are small, some may last a lifetime. There are some situations we can control and some that just seem beyond our control. We deal with health problems, aging parents, loss, workplace issues, financial crisis, relationships, failure, unfair treatment. And the list goes on. If you escaped all of these so far, then consider yourself extra blessed. In our human form, no one is immune. But why does the Earth School have to be so hard? Well, it's an absolute fact that we make it harder than it has to be in so many cases, merely by the choices we make. Let's talk about fate and destiny, or God's will versus our will. Fate is a circumstance the universe creates for us. It might be a wonderful thing, or it could be a life lesson, which is still a good thing if we're going to grow from it. And then there are choices the universe presents to us, and that would be destiny. Destiny is basically what we make of fate. We don't always listen to our intuition, though, do we? How often are we told to listen to that still voice inside of us? And how often do we actually do that? There could be red flags all over the place that we don't see because we're still wearing our rose-colored glasses. Many of us don't see our poor decision-making until it's in hindsight. God's greatest gift to us is the ability to love. But I think his second greatest gift is the ability to choose. And that's what the Earth School is really about. We just need to choose more wisely and stop allowing the ego to speak for us. Sometimes, though, we make good choices and we still can't get the results we want. Even the answers to our prayers are not always the answers we want. For me, the chemo didn't work. And I've opted for a challenging surgery. I made a free will choice not to go on maintenance drugs or chemo pills that after a lot of research, I don't feel will be effective enough, and they will just continue to make me sick. So that is my free will choice, and I have faith in it. My faith in God certainly plays a role in this, but He wants more than that. He wants us to be proactive and to make choices, even when they're hard. There is no higher power that wants us to suffer. But challenges are uncomfortable by design. That's what makes you move. Some crossroads come with an urgency just to keep us from being complacent. If you found out you were going to lose your job in September, get laid off perhaps, you'd be looking for a new job, right? Because you know it's coming. Sometimes we need that kick in the tush to make change happen so that we can experience the next journey and all that chapter has to offer. We're all afraid at one point or another. But if you base choices on your fears, then there's a good chance you're not listening to that inner voice and you're not growing as a result. And this is very important. No one should ever take your right to choose away. All too often, we give our power away because we're either afraid to make those choices or we want the approval of others, which is also a fear of disapproval. I felt very blessed to have had an oncologist who said, here's your options. You should research them and then we'll talk about it. Those are the kind of people you want in your life, rather than the ones that put pressure on you or try to manipulate you. You do you. Don't be so hard on yourself if you make mistakes either. It happens. But if you do make one, just own it without blaming others. That's very important because that just adds to your challenges. It's fine to make a mistake. Don't be so hard on yourself if you move slowly either. And I don't mean lazy. It just means slow. Do what you can. Push a little when you're able to. And don't compare your journey to or its challenges with anyone else's. Everyone's doing their own thing down here. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't help others when the opportunity presents, but realize that you can't live someone else's journey either. Sometimes we want more for others than they want for themselves. I was reminded of this recently, and I learned probably for the 20th time that no matter how sad the circumstances are, no matter how much it hurts, they have to see it. They have to want it. And then you can help. Until then, know when to stay in your lane. Our own challenges are probably enough to keep us busy anyway. Your story evolves over time. With each change we make or challenge that comes our way, you are responsible for your own happiness. But life is not always easy here. No, it's not. And we don't always know if God's will is going to align with our own desires. But with a proper perspective, the ability to listen to that inner voice, along with the faith that you will land on your feet no matter what, you always land on your feet, one way or another. Your story, under those circumstances, could be a lot easier to write. Okay. I want you to feel blessed, be blessed, and I will talk to you again soon. Make sure you click the subscribe button, by the way, if you're on YouTube. Go to my Patreon if you want to be the first to see my videos. Until then, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.